Hi, I'm Margaret and this is Max Sing Along. Today we're going to talk about how to increase your vocal range. The human voice can be divided into two main voices or registrations. We have the chest voice and the head voice. And depending on where your voice typically lies, some voices will lie more in the chest range rather than the head, or some will have more of a head range rather than the chest. But we all have both. And we all have the potential for 3 to 3.5 octaves of a range with those two voices combined. So before we work on increasing our vocal range, let's first figure out what our range is. So I want you to imagine that you're eating something really yummy and you're going to hum and chew it in your mouth. Mmm, like that. Now we're going to hum down into our lower chest voice range, and once you feel like you have met the lowest part of your range, just sort of sustain that note out, and that should be the lowest note of your range. Mm. So that note is my lowest note. Now I'm going to slide up every octave from that lowest note to get up to the higher part of my voice. So that's 2 octaves right there. Now we have to switch gears eventually into the head voice range, and it's a little hard to get up there on a closed mouth hum. So I'm going to recommend that you slide up there on an NG, which feels like a hum with your mouth open. So to find that sound, I recommend saying the word song and sustain the NG part of song. Song. And you notice your mouth is open, but your sound is only going through your nose and sinuses. Song. So it feels like humming, but your mouth is open. This is a little easier for head voice. So start up higher in your range, and we're going to do the same thing. You're just going to slide up, and once you feel like you're at the top without strain, you just sustain it. So that's the top of my range. So that comes down to about 3 octaves for me. Explore yours. Check on a keyboard or a pitch pipe or something that you have to check your pitch, and you'll be able to see what your vocal range is right now. Now that you have figured out your vocal range, it's time to increase it. Now this is actually pretty easy. All we have to do is exercise our voice to increase the range. We have all these little muscles in your throat, and we know that muscles can grow just by using them. So the more you sing in general, the more you should be increasing your vocal strength and your vocal range. But there are some specific tricks we do to make it just a little gentler as we exercise. So I recommend finding a straw, and I recommend paper straw because it's better for the environment, or a metal straw. And first let's explore our lower range and try to get a few lower notes. So what you do is you make sound into the straw like this. Now just to check that it's actually going through the straw, you can put your hand at the end just to make sure air is hitting your hand. And then you know it's actually going into the straw and you're not just humming like this, which is very easy. You want to actually feel the sound exit through the straw. When you do this through the straw, it takes off a lot of pressure on your vocal folds. So it's a really safe way to exercise those muscles without straining them. Now, once you feel like you're comfortable in the straw, you basically just slide down into your lower range and just exercise it. A few times a day is fine. Once the slide feels comfortable, you can start making it a little bit more melodic. I just got another note, I think. And then just take a break. We want the muscles to grow, so sometimes the fiber takes a few days to regrow. So wait 2 or 3 days and try it again, and it might feel easier and easier. I used to not be able to go lower than an F sharp, and now I can go down to an E and sometimes an E flat, just by using the straw. So it can work for you too. Now to increase your range on the higher end, it gets a little trickier because it depends on what type of singing you're doing. Let's say you just want your chest voice to be able to stay really high. That's different. But if you just want to get the highest note possible in your range, then you have to be able to switch into head voice. And some of us don't have a very developed head voice. So if you're one of those people, the first thing to do is just exercise head voice, and don't try to go super high yet. Just exercise it in a comfortable place. And I recommend doing howls to the moon, woo! Or you can do hum, NGs, you can even straw, woo! But you just want to help head voice develop a little bit more before you try to increase the pitch range it has. If you already have a developed head voice and you want to increase it, then again, you just need to exercise up there in a low pressure way. So you can try grabbing a straw to do this as well. Sometimes straws are tricky for people. It can bring some tension with the tongue. So you can also do lip trills. You can do tongue trills. NG again is great. Something that feels comfortable for you, that isn't just full on open voice, because that again is asking a lot of the muscle that we're trying to grow. We want reduced strain as we try to exercise it. So I'm going to do this on lip trill for myself and just show you how to exercise up there. So first, find the tip of your range by sliding up. Hopefully without pushing too hard. And then every day again, you're just going to slide up there a little bit and try not to tighten these muscles, but instead let your legs bend a little bit so you get a little bit more support from your pelvic floor muscles. So just like this is fine. And then rest, just like you did with the chest voice. Give it a few days, come back to it, and you'll start to notice it getting easier and easier. Now, just some side notes as you are exploring the depths of your voice. Sometimes we can't get an increase in range because of some type of tension. So for example, tongue tension is very common. And if you feel like there's something grabbing or tightening in your throat, or there's a cracking sound or a squeaking sound, it's probably tension, and most likely tongue tension. So just try to be aware of it. When you're going into your higher range, if you don't open your mouth enough, it's going to be hard for the sound to have enough space to exit. You have to open up there. Same with the lower part of your range. Ooh, you have to open the cavity down here for the sound to go in there. If you just stay up here, it doesn't have enough space to go to resonate in the chest cavity. So yes, we are exercising muscles in our throat, but we also need to be aware of allowing there to be space for the sound. If you feel like you're struggling, I recommend finding a teacher to help you. But otherwise, have fun, explore, and once you feel like your range has increased and it's comfortable, I would start singing on open mouth vowels like ah, and try to get more exercise that way. All right, and that's how you increase your vocal range. I'm Margaret, and this was Mag's Sing Along. You can join me every month for more tips on singing.